Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and oh yeah, I guess that's right. I guess seeing how you did tune into the previous thoughts video that I did earlier for sure. Looks like we're officially talking about another movie that I got to see as part of my double feature that I did earlier today for sure, and I guess that would probably explain, I think, for today's movie, I guess it would explain this Mockingjay necklace I actually got. I mean, yeah, just really look at it for sure. Doesn't that actually look quite amazing for sure? I mean, I think so. But yeah, I guess if you couldn't tell, of course, what I'm actually wearing, I think it is actually quite clear, of course, what movie I'm talking about here today for sure. So yeah, I think I know it's actually probably been a long time coming for sure, and if you have seen, of course, what I've actually been through with, of course, Trolls Band Together, looks like I think for today's movie for sure. Honestly, I think unlike the last film that I talked about, where I do think it's a pretty much a mixed bag, but I just kind of felt it was actually weak. This one, I do think it's a decent enough flick, but actually for a different reason for sure. So, but yeah, I think it's pretty much what I'm talking about here today for sure, and yeah, like I said, I did manage to see this as part of my double feature that I did earlier today. Once again, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas, as always, for helping out as normal. So, really love what they're doing. I always do love coming back there for a really good movie for sure. So yeah, and I think it is quite clear, of course, what movie I'm talking about here today, based on, of course, what I'm wearing for sure. So yeah, I guess it makes sense on, of course, that front. So I guess for today's movie, we're actually going to be diving into a recent installment in, of course, a film series based on a well-known book series that's been around for some time, and believe it or not, this film series, from what I could gather, was actually a huge staple from the early to mid 2010s for sure. So yeah, quite surprising that we're finally getting to talk about one of these films at long last for sure. And boy, it looks like it's actually going to be quite an interesting one to officially talk about for sure. So yeah, I guess, if anything, I might as well get right on to talk about here today. So yeah, if you couldn't actually, if you actually don't know what I'm talking about, nor you can even guess, of course, pretty much on this, pretty much once again, this Mockingjay necklace I actually got on for sure. Yes, folks, it's time. It's time to officially talk about one of these films for sure. So yeah. I guess with that being said, I think it's about time that we go ahead and talk about the latest movie that had just came out as of recently, which is none other than The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So yeah, that's of course what I'm going to be talking about here today for sure. It's not only the latest film that just came out very recently that I got to see alongside Trolls Band Together as part of my double feature, but it is also pretty much not only the latest installment, but it's of course a prequel to a well-known film series based on a well-known book series that's been out for quite some time, which is of course The Hunger Games. So yeah, that's pretty much all what I can say on, of course, that front. It's what I'm talking about here today, and well, makes sense to give you guys my thoughts on it for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so yeah, before I could go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I think it makes sense to give out my thoughts on, of course, well, the Hunger Games movies entirely for sure. So yeah, honestly, I think I do recall when they first came out for sure. Sadly, I never actually got the chance to see them for sure because, well, I was mainly focused on, of course, stuff relating to pretty much high school and early college for sure. So yeah. I guess it's safe to say that I never actually got the chance to actually see any of the Hunger Games movies in their entirety. But it is actually quite a shame for me to admit that because I actually did hear really good things about these movies for sure. So yeah, but of course, in light of course, this newest one that had just came out, I actually did manage to finally get the chance to actually see them for sure. And good thing too, because the DVD copy of course, all four movies actually does include this Mockingjay necklace that I've actually shown off for sure. And to give out my short thoughts on all four of the Hunger Games movies in their entirety, honestly, it's no big surprise. I really enjoyed all the Hunger Games movies for sure. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say they're actually on par, like of course, pretty much some well-known movie series based on well-known book series that's been around for some time, i.e. the Harry Potter movies, for example. But I do think the Hunger Games movies are actually really good movies from what I can gather, and I do find myself enjoying them for sure. I always get kicked of course, on how brilliant the first one is, and Catching Fire, its sequel, really impressed me for sure, and it's definitely so far my all-time favorite out of all these movies for sure. And let's not forget to mention the epic two-parter Mockingjay Parts 1 and 2 actually did give off some pretty nice stuff and a pretty satisfying conclusion to all these movies for sure. But yeah, whatever the case may be, and I know you may have a different perspective on, of course, all of them, but for me, I actually really enjoyed the first four Hunger Games movies for sure, and I do think they're well worth the watch for sure. So yeah, I think that's pretty much why I can say, of course, that front for sure. And yeah, honestly, if you actually have seen any of these movies for sure, I think you'll know exactly what I mean, of course, that front for sure. So yeah. And of course, when I actually saw the trailers for, of course, this newest one, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I actually did get myself pretty excited to actually see this one for sure. And yeah, for this being a prequel to the pretty much the Hunger Games series entirely, I was actually quite curious to see on how they're gonna pull that off for sure. So yeah, luckily enough, I did manage to get to see this movie right after Trolls Band Together for sure. And well, now that I actually got off, of course, seeing it for sure, what do I think of this movie now that I got the chance to see it? Well, I guess to answer that question, I do think it's okay at best for sure. I mean, it's not really as pretty much great as the previous films, but thank God it's not terrible by all means. I just do think it's okay for sure. And yeah, I think I do know hands down, based on what I'm seeing with, of course, critics and stuff, it is probably a little weak compared to the past four films that we actually got. But to me, honestly, I don't mind it for sure. I do think it's alright for what it is. Yeah, just a nice little passable flick that you can actually get, and yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I got. It's just passable for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so now that I've actually got pretty much the short version out of the way, I think I might as well go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about with, of course, this film. So for starters is, of course, the story for, of course, this movie, and yeah, I think with, of course, what I've actually seen, I do think this movie actually does have a pretty fine story from, of course, what I can gather, So yeah, I think from what I'm actually seeing, yeah, I think from what I can gather, I think I do know pretty much it doesn't actually do much from what I can gather that I originally expected it to for sure, but that I do have to say, I do think it's fine enough for what it is for sure. But hey, it's still delivering, of course, what I want for, of course, this movie actually serving as a pretty nice prequel to the Hunger Games, and that's exactly what I got for sure. I don't really think it's anything that fantastic by all means, but I do think it's fair enough from what I can gather that can actually do its best to actually make it work, and this film actually did an alright job in doing exactly that for sure, so yeah, that's what I can say for, of course, the story for, of course, this movie, and of course, pretty much for the writing, I have to say, that too, I will admit, is actually done fine from what I can gather for sure. And I mean, yeah, there are some scenes and stuff that I just don't think actually are written out very well, and it just left me a little bit more bored than excited for sure, but some of the ones that are actually written out really good, I actually did get myself fully invested on, of course, all that for sure, So yeah, like I said, maybe I think they could have done a whole lot more, like make some adjustments here or there to make it all the more incredible and interesting, but yeah, maybe I think, I do think it's alright from, of course, what I can gather on, of course, that front. Nothing really anything that's got me all the more hooked on for sure, but it did try its best for, of course, what it's actually doing for sure, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for, of course, the story and the writing for, of course, this movie in its entirety for sure. Nothing really anything that exciting from what I could gather, but thank God not terrible by all means for sure, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so now that I've actually got those two out of the way, I think I might as well go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for, of course, this movie, which for starters is, of course, the characters, and yeah, to me, I think, pretty much of anything, I do think the characters in, of course, this movie, I couldn't necessarily pretty much like them or hate them in such a way. I do think they're alright characters from what I can gather, but I really do love the great sense of development they've actually that they really give to all these characters for sure, excuse me, so yeah, just mainly for what it is entirely, so. But yeah, maybe I think they could have done a whole lot more to make them all the more interesting from what I can gather, but I do think they're passable to say the least, and yeah, some of the ones that I actually do admire, I actually got myself fully invested on for sure, so. But however, I can say from what I can gather, pretty much for another aspect, the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, to me, I do think they actually gave off some pretty good performances by all means. It's not really anything Oscar-worthy by all means, but I do think the acting in this film is actually done good from what I can gather. I mean, yeah, there are some that I just kind of felt were way off for sure, and not really as engaging or investing as I originally expected for sure. But some of the ones that actually do give a good performance, I actually do get a good kick out of them for sure, and I really do admire the heck in, of course, this film, and I think it did a fine job in doing exactly that. Like I said, maybe I think it could have done a whole lot more, but they did try their best with, of course, what they're giving for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I could say for the characters and the actors for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front.
Alright.
Alright, so now that I've actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about for sure? Actually, quite a whole lot for sure. So for starters, the visuals and the effects in this film, yeah, to me, I will have to admit, they are actually done really amazing for sure. Everything from, of course, what I'm actually seeing, they actually are actually brilliantly well done from, of course, what I can gather, and actually do have this really, really nice sense of realism that I was actually expecting for sure, and even the color playing to help build in with, of course, the film's surroundings and atmosphere really does nail it on the head for sure, and I really do love the incredible world building they've actually give to the pretty much the world of Panem for sure, which, yeah, I think with, of course, what I'm actually seeing from every single nook and cranny from every single district throughout the entire world of Panem for sure really is something to admire for sure. Almost like, what would it be like if you were actually caught being in this world that the Hunger Games actually takes place in for sure. So yeah, I think that's what I could say, of course, that front in terms of the visuals and the effects. And of course, for the action, I have to say, that too, I will admit, is actually brilliantly done well for sure. It really is incredibly well done from what I can gather, and the way they showcase all the action on, of course, that front, it really is done very, very well, in my opinion. So yeah, every single one of the action and fight scenes from what I can gather are brilliantly choreographed for sure, and yeah, it really does showcase quite well throughout the course of this movie for sure. Even during the main Hunger Games event that goes on for sure, which actually is something that I really do admiring, of course, this movie for sure, and it really does nail on the head perfectly, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, and of course, pretty much moving on from there, the direction in this film from the film's director, to me, I think it's alright at best for sure. Nothing really anything that's great by all means, but thank God it's not terrible. But I do think it's okay from, of course, what I can gather on, of course, that front. So yeah. And of course, for the cinematography, I have to say, that too, I will admit, is actually done great, as it actually did give off some really good camera shots for sure. So yeah. And I will make the massive argument, it is actually a massive improvement compared to the last films for sure, to which, don't get me wrong, pretty much of anything, I guess from of course, my point of view, yeah, all the films are actually really great for sure, but the one thing that really does bug me from, of course, what I can gather is, of course, pretty much for its cinematography, yeah, it always has the camera shaking around a few times, and I think pretty much, and I know a lot of you guys may be wondering, how bad could the cinematography in the past Hunger Games movies be? Well, allow me to give you a good example of this. In fact, I think I might as well get the camera out of the tripod for a second. Yeah, here's a good example on what I mean of the cinematography in the past Hunger Games movies being bad for sure. It's just constantly being like yeah, that's exactly what I mean for sure. So, all right, let's get you back here, and yeah, pretty much get you back in your place, and yeah, I think that looks all right. So yeah, I do need to apologize for the ones that had to endure, of course, this shaky camera for sure, and yeah, I do kind of fear that I might actually get some people massively sick, so my apologies for that. So, but yeah, I think, if anything, I think you can see what I mean for sure, so. So, yeah. But hey, I guess in honesty, I really do admire the cinematography, of course, this film for sure, and it is actually brilliantly well done from, of course, what I can gather for sure, so. So yeah, and of course, for the film's editing, I have to say, honestly, to me, I do think it's actually done fine from what I can gather. Nothing really anything that is actually great by all means, but yeah, I think they did the best they could to actually make it work, in my opinion, so. So yeah, and of course, pretty much the one thing I can say is that pretty much of anything, pretty much from all that I got for sure, I will admit the film actually does actually go on for way too long for sure. I mean, with well over 2.5 hours for sure. Yeah, I think I did kind of felt I was actually looking at the time on my phone and I was like, oh my god, how long is this movie? So yeah, maybe I think they could have shortened it out a whole lot more for a much shorter running time for sure, but hey, I think they did the best they could to actually make it all the more epic for sure, so. And again, I think with all those hands down, I do think it actually did deliver a fine job in being a pretty fine prequel to the Hunger Games movies for sure. Not great by all means, but I still think it is done fine from, of course, what I can gather for sure. And yeah, not necessarily one that I would think of when it comes to the Hunger Games for sure, but yeah. I still think it did a fine job in doing exactly that on that front for sure, so. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I can say in its entirety for sure, so yeah. Alright. Alright, so yeah, I guess that's pretty much everything that I can say for, of course, this movie for sure, so. So yeah, overall, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, honestly, to me, I don't really think it's that terrible by all means, nor even bland or forgettable. It's just not really anything that incredible or even that interesting from what I can gather, but I do think it is okay at best for sure. Not necessarily one that really got me hooked on as I originally expected it to, but hey, I do think it did a fine job, and of course, what it needs to do for this being a prequel to the Hunger Games for sure, and I think it did a passable job to say the least for sure, so. And I think that is probably the best way I can actually describe this movie for sure. It is passable for sure. Not good, not bad, just passable for sure, so. So yeah, and I guess if anything, that's pretty much the best way I can actually describe this movie for sure. Again, maybe with probably a few adjustments here and there, we could actually get something all the more great, by all means, to make it all the more likable and quite something amazing for sure, but it's kind of hard to say with, of course, the movie we actually got for sure, but I still think they did a fine job, regardless, of course, all that for sure, so. But I guess in the end, despite my mixed reactions on, of course, all that, I think we still have the first 4 Hunger Games movies to still look back on as really great movies for sure, so. Well, except for the cinematography for sure, that could have been fixed up in the previous films for sure, and please, do we really need to stick with, of course, a shaky cam based on, of course, that example I actually gave? I thought so, so. But hey, if you are actually quite curious to see this one for yourself, then then by all means, no real harm whatsoever. I guess if you are looking for a pretty much a Hunger Games movie, that's not really yeah, that actually yeah, I'm actually a loss for words for sure. So yeah, if you are looking for a Hunger Games movie that actually does, yeah, that does actually deliver, of course, being a pretty nice prequel to the pretty much the first 4 films, but couldn't actually meet to that level of incredibleness, then I say give this movie a watch. It's worth 2.5 hours of your time for sure. So yeah, I guess to me, I still think this movie is definitely passable for sure. Not good, not bad, just passable for sure. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can describe this movie overall. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I'll be fair on this one, and I'll give this movie a decent enough 6 out of 10 as my final score for sure. So yeah, like I said, nothing really that great, but thank God, not terrible by all means, but it is, of course, okay at best for sure, to which, yeah, I guess that is probably the best way I can describe this movie overall, but hey, it was well worth it in the end, and I'm glad the people making this movie tried their best to make it all the more good for sure, and there's nothing wrong with that entirely. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. And I guess on that thought, that'll pretty much do exactly that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, what do you think of this latest Hunger Games movies? Yeah, what do you think of this latest Hunger Games movie? Do you actually really enjoyed it and gave you a very solid prequel, or do you absolutely hate it, or you yeah, and thought it was a complete letdown, or are you like me and you thought it was okay at best? Let me know what you thought about this movie in the comment section below. I would definitely love to know what you guys think for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much about it, and I guess that's pretty much a good way to end off this pretty much another double feature for sure. So yeah. Once again, I really do love doing double feature stuff for sure. I'm glad I actually went ahead and did another one for sure. So who knows when I'll be doing another one of these later on for sure. But we'll definitely have to wait and see, of course, on that front, depending on which movies I'll be coming out that may actually pique my interest for sure. So. And you guys might be wondering, will there be a time where, of course, I'll dive right into doing a triple feature? What do you think? So yeah, I think that's honestly way too risky, of course, on that front. I don't want to go right into that front just yet for sure, because yeah, I really need to ease things down a bit before getting around to the real deal for sure. So yeah, I'll stick to mainly single movie screens, double features, and pretty much on occasion early Thursday screens of the latest movies right up until then for sure. So, which yeah, I guess is probably what I can say for now for sure. But yeah. I think that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front for sure. But yeah, and I guess on that thought, I think it'll be a good way to end this video for sure. And yeah, what I say I'm gonna be talking about in the next thoughts video, as usual. Well, it's like I said numerous times, you're just gonna have to see for yourself for sure, because yeah. Quite a lot of stuff for me to do right up until the end of this year, so I definitely gotta make it count for sure. So yeah, I guess right up until pretty much on my next thoughts video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. And of course, pretty much in the pretty much since this is a Hunger Games review, yeah, pretty much a thoughts video on the latest Hunger Games movie. I knew I should probably end this video like how Katniss does in, of course, these films. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much what I'm giving to all of you guys. So yeah, take care.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyattackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427'S Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and plenty more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.